Hi, I'm Miss Doheny, and I am going to be reading Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of The Adventures of a South Pole Pig. Chapter 1. Mama, why do we have to live in a cage? Flora dug in the dirt at something hard and rusty. Honey, don't do that, her mother nosed her way. And it's not a cage, it's a pig pen. Same thing, said Flora under her breath. How unlucky she was. Born with adventurous hooves that were stuck inside a pen. But she wasn't giving up. If there was a way out, Flora said to herself, she would find it. She had already packed down trails to each corner of the pen. She had poked her wet snout through every wooden slat to smell the other side. And she had dug holes all along the pen's perimeter. Usually, the only thing hiding under the surface was dirt, until today. Maybe this hard and rusty something would bring a change in routine. As soon as her mother turned, Flora went back to digging. She scratched away busily until the thing popped out of the ground. I knew it! Flora gave a little squeal of joy. Now she had to see what it could do. Flora! Shouted her mother. Flora took a step back. Her mother trotted over, and close on her heels were her three brothers. Flora had 7, so there was always at least one around to watch her get into trouble. Rusty pieces of metal are very dangerous. Why do you insist on unearthing things better left alone? Said her mother. Flora stamped the ground. If it's unexplored, then it needs to get dug up. I see, says mother. Well, if it is sharp and rusty, then it needs to stay unexplored and underground. And her mother used her snout to nudge and scoot the nail over to the wooden fence, where there was a space between the ground and the lowest board. Mama, wait! I'm not done with that thingy yet. Flora shoved herself between her mother's legs. Her mother pushed her back. You most certainly are done with this thingy, little one. With a firm kick, she spun the nail under the board and out of sight. Flora screwed up her face, not sure if she should stomp or flop on the ground. But before she could choose, her mother lay down with her back against the fence. Breakfast time, she called. A thrill ran through Flora. She was hungry. So were her brothers. Flora dove for a good spot, only to find herself bumped and turned aside. There's enough for everyone, Mother said. Nobody listened. But Flora, the firstborn of the litter, had sturdy shoulders and strong back legs. And when she failed to push through, she had other ways to make room for herself. Standing on a brother's ear usually created an opening, and if that didn't work, she used her sharp teeth. Flora found that if she chomped down on a brother's tail, she could count on a loud squeal and an open space. A girl had to fight for her food in this family, except against little Alfred, the runt. If he started sniffling, Flora made room for 2. After breakfast was nap time. Little pigs, with their tummies round and full of milk, flopped against one another on the ground. But Flora thought piglets spent too much of their lives sleeping. Today, she pawed her brother's knee. Sam, wake up. Sam grunted. He didn't move. Flora went over to Tommy. His ear was flopped open. Boo! Tommy's head snapped up. Nap time's over, she said. Go away. And Tommy laid his head back down and folded his ear closed. Flora returned to Sam. She thought about standing on his tail. Just behind her, someone else grunted. When Flora turned, she saw Alfred smiling and twitching in his sleep. Alfred! She walked over to her littlest brother, who opened his eyes. It's time to go exploring. Flora, I have a full tummy, and that always makes me sleepy. Besides, we explored the whole pen yesterday, and there wasn't one new exciting thing. What about that nail I just dug up? Alfred closed his eyes. New, but not exciting. Fine. Flora turned her back. She had to admit he was right. But if anything exciting ever did pop up, she'd be the first to see it, if she kept exploring. She trotted over to the manure pile, Flora's favorite lookout. It was the highest point to the pig pen, and the only place Flora could hope to see anything interesting beyond her small world. She gazed past the shade of the pig pen roof to where the world was bright and sunny. Sunny junk heap, sunny grass, sunny cornfield, sunny gravel road. A familiar sound floated in. Flora cocked her head to one side to listen. Dogs. They were barking again. Now, seeing a dog would be exciting. What would it look like, she wondered? Woolly like a sheep? Horn like a bull? Single-hoofed like a horse? Or double-hoofed like a pig? One thing was sure. Dogs made more noise than all of the other animals put together. As the barking died down, Flora tilted her head up at the pig pen roof. Sunlight poured through little holes, showing bits of dust in the air. Flora moved so that one point of light landed on her front leg. There was as much direct sun as Flora got. She lay down carefully so that the spot of light stayed on her leg, and she watched it. It looked like a little star. Mother had told her about the points of light that came out at night, like 100 eyes, watching and twinkling high above the world. Flora wished she could see those eyes. When the spot of light moved off her leg, she scrambled up, and this time looked all around. Behind her was an empty pig pen. To her right was the open side of the barn. Flora could see through it to the 3 horse stalls on the far wall. Only one had housed a horse for the last 3 days. Nessie was quiet except when her hooves knocked against the wooden walls. Flora turned back to the sunshine and the junk heap. There were old tires, machine parts, wavy rafts of chicken wire, broken tools that lay where they had been tossed. And in the middle was a wheelbarrow with no wheel, and in its body was a green garden hose coiled around a white fur ball. Flora looked again. Was that a dog? The fur ball stretched and yawned. It had a black ear and a mouth full of sharp teeth. Flora's front knees trembled. Now this was new and exciting. The creature stepped down from the wheelbarrow, and he walked carelessly toward the pig pen. Should Flora warn her mother? No, she could handle the intruder. She crept off the manure pile and pushed herself close to the fence where the fur ball might enter if it was foolish enough to step inside a pig pen guarded by a fierce, sharp-hoofed piglet. She hadn't woken up today expecting a fight, but this was going to be very satisfying. If some prowling food thief thought it could sneak into her home, Flora was just the pig to teach it a lesson. She crouched. Sure enough, the fur ball slipped like water through the slats in the fence. This was it. The moment Flora would leap, and the fur ball sat down and started licking itself. Flora managed to stop from pouncing to watch. Its little pink tongue went in and out of its toothy mouth, licking the fur in front and then working from one side to the other. This was perfect. It was so busy, it would never see her coming. Flora gathered herself and then launched. Hi-ya, she said. And now we read chapter 2. The stranger didn't twirl around or scream in fear. Instead, it flew to the top of a fence post in one motion, as easily as if it were a bird, and sat blinking. Flora slid to a stop and put her front feet up on the post. Did I scare you? Terrified, the furry white creature gave itself another lick. I've got rock-hard hoofs and a mouthful of sharp teeth, and Flora opened her mouth to show how sharp they were. You better be careful. Such terrible weapons. I'm lucky I'm still alive. My name is Flora, and I'm a pig, said Flora. I'm in charge around here, and... Then she stopped because the animal had turned its head to lick its back. Flora wasn't sure it was listening. And I like your fur because it's all white like mine. Flora didn't know why she had said this to an animal that might be an enemy. Are you a dog? My name is Luna, and I am most certainly not a dog. I am a cat, and I like your spirit, she said. We could be sisters, said Flora. Luna gazed at Flora for a moment. We're not sisters. And she went back to her licking. Flora walked to the other side of the post to get a different view. Why do you keep doing that? Doing what? Licking yourself. It's how I keep clean. Flora stuck out her tongue and gave her shoulder a lick. It tickled her tongue in a way that didn't feel very good. And besides, it tasted funny. I don't lick myself, Flora announced. And she rubbed her tongue on the top of her mouth to get rid of the tickly feeling. I can tell, said Luna. And that is why we're not sisters. A soft breeze made Luna's fur move like a wave. Can I feel your fur? Flora asked. Luna hopped down. Now, that's a request a cat can never refuse. And she rubbed her white fur along Flora's side, and her tail slipped under Flora's neck. Flora had never felt anything so soft, not even Mother's underbelly or Alfred's silky ears. Luna walked over to the fence and turned. I hope you don't mind if I come back to visit someday, even if we're not sisters. I'll try to remember to stay away from those rock-hard hoofs of yours. Flora's heart lurched. You're going already? Luna looked surprised. I'm a cat. I come and go as I please. And she slid between the boards and disappeared. A squeal slipped out. Flora couldn't help it. She wasn't proud of such a piggy noise, but she wanted so much to be able to come and go as she pleased. And her best chance for adventure of the whole day, the whole week, even the whole month was leaving. Hey, relax. One of Luna's eyes appeared in the crack. Flora made her voice behave. Take me with you. You're not a cat. You're a pig, remember? I wander around and see things, and you stay in this pig pen and do pig stuff. But I don't want to do pig stuff, Flora whispered. I want to wander around. Why? Luna poked her head back inside the pen. I'm curious, said Flora. Luna rubbed the side of her head against a board. Curious. That's a good quality. It shows you have spirit, though some think being curious means you're looking for trouble. I'll go do some wondering. Then I'll come back and tell you what I find. Stay out of trouble. She drew her head back through the crack. But I don't want to stay out of trouble, Flora said. I want something to happen around here. There was a silence, and then Luna's head poked through the fence once more. Oh, it will. You don't have to look for trouble. It will find you. And when that happens, Luna disappeared, but her voice continued. Keep up that great spirit and make a plan, because 9 lives is just a state of mind. What plan? And Flora raced back to the top of the manure pile and watched until Luna's tail, tall, waving tail, rounded the corner of a barn. Flora sighed. With a heart born for adventure and hooves stuck in a pen, Flora couldn't help thinking that trouble might be a good thing. And that is the end of chapter 1 and chapter 2.